All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Four Corners Podcast. This is another installment to the Superstar Spotlight edition. Last time I had Skipper Addison on. This time I am joined by my good friend Kenneth James. Kenneth, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Not a problem, not a problem. So, you've been in the business for 12 years. In that 12 years, what would you say is the most awkward situation you've experienced inside of a wrestling ring?
It was in Burnettsville for NGW. It was for their heavyweight title. This is the only part of the story. Brett was climbing a ladder to get the belt, and I think God to this day that he was wearing a man thong under his trunks, because I reached up, tried to pull him down, and he kept climbing. Well, everybody saw Bret Havoc's ass. And to top it all, why thank God every day he was wearing a man thong is there was a preacher on that side. So Bret mooned the preacher because he didn't realize I had a hold of his trunks.
That he did. That Bret most certainly did. Yeah, that was the whole sledgehammer incident to Bret. Bret had a rough night that night.
Yes. Bret, I think that was like the second or third anniversary.
It was a second.
And after the show, I went to the promoter and I was like, I love Bret, but you can't book him in main events anymore on your anniversary shows because he gets hurt.
Oh,
because the first year
was the shoulder.
Yeah. Against Jamie Crisis.
Yep. And then he got the sledgehammer to the head.
The second year.
I was really surprised exactly how much he bled off of that. That cut, I swear to God, was only like
it
that.
It was itty bitty, but it was deep. And that's the bad thing is that's not the worst Bret's ever had.
Didn't he like hit a post?
He was working IWA Mid-South in a match with Shane Mercer. Mercer went to throw him in the wall and he hit a post. Split him. It was probably about that long. I know you probably can't see it, but about that long. It was pretty deep. He had, I think, 7 staples.
Staples?
7 staples, 2 stitches on the outside, 1 on the inside. And then the following Saturday, worked another match.
I believe I saw something about that online, about how bad he got busted with that Shane Mercer match.
Yes.
But I mean, at least when Bret does bleed, he bleeds pretty well. that was,
yeah.
I had felt more. It was weird because that was during the heel turn that I had at NGW.
Yep.
And here I am, I'm supposed to be this fucking maniacal heel that just cracks somebody with a sledgehammer, and I crawl over after the fucking match, and I'm like cuddling with Bret. I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "Get the fuck off me."
Same match, same awkward moment after that. I couldn't get the fucking belt to come undone.
Yes,
because it was a boxing belt, and it was like an actual belt. Like you had to buckle it. I couldn't get the fucking. I looked like Jack Swagger trying to take the money in the briefcase down.
Just tell the crowd it's over. I've got my hands on it. That's the end of the match.
Yeah, that's what we should have done.
That was a fucking violent ass match too.
And it was hot for April.
God, the inside of that building though was just always naturally hot.
Mm-hmm.
You'd lose like 5 pounds just like walking around doing your shit to get to the ring.
Justin Myers would say an awkward moment for him, which is one of the kids that Bret and I trained. For him, I hope he would say this was awkward, not really an awkward moment, but I did a show for New Wave Pro in Greencastle last year. It was that March for Babies or March for Dimes or something. I don't remember. It was a fundraiser show. I worked Babyface against Sam Knight, who at the time was their champion. I went everywhere. I went to they had bleachers. I went up to the bleachers. I almost took my whole entrance song to get to the ring.
Trying to hit all the.
I was just trying to making sure I was the baby face.
Made sure you get your shit in before the ring, didn't you?
Yes.
That's pretty good though. I can see where that would be awkward. So where are you currently working now? Like, what are your
Um,
big ones that you're at right now?
I work WCWO every so often on Friday nights because they run every Friday. I'm at New Era in Shelbyville every month. NGW, pretty much every show they do, unless it's a Sunday. I'm at Merge, 95% of their shows. That's pretty much it right now. I mean, I'm getting to the tail end of it, tail end of the story. So I'm not trying to branch out too much right now anymore.
But you have worked with Infinity Pro. That's the
Yes,
Los
and
Angeles.
and Infinity because they just started back up. I worked for them when they were in Bloomington. Good shows down there. Their first show that they had that I was on was a three-way ladder match. It was me, Brett, and Hadley. And Brett and I actually got yelled at in the back after the match. Not by the promoter, but by the name that they had on the show. Because we went home.
Yeah.
Not because we went over our time, which we did. We had, I think it was like 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
It's not bad for a main.
We weren't even the main.
Oh, you weren't even the main?
We weren't even the main. We were on before intermission.
Oh, damn.
And the name looked at us and he's like, "Why'd you go home?" I was like, "Well, we went 10 minutes over." He's like, "Crowd, why'd you go home?" I won't ever. That was the first argument I ever had with Austin Aries, and last. Never argued with him again.
The man knows what he's doing.
Yes.
Currently down there in TNA.
Yes.
Well, Impact, I guess.
Yeah.
They're not really called TNA anymore.
Yeah. Nothing but good things to say about Aries. If anybody were to ask me, I picked him up from the airport that morning. Drove him to the show. The only bad thing I have to say is when I took him back to the airport, my rental vehicle smelled like booze.
That was the same time where he pretty much destroyed that one chick where she thought she was hot
Oh, you're talking about after the show.
shit? Yeah.
Yeah, after the show, Aries and some of the boys were hanging out. I don't remember if they were friends of one of the boys or something, but there was two girls in the room. They were sitting on the phone, sitting on the edge of the bed, texting. One of them stopped, started actually enjoying the party, or after whatever they were doing. I don't know what the fuck they were doing because I wasn't there. The other girl kept texting, and he looked at her and goes, "Honey, you may be a 10 in Bloomington, Indiana, but I've been all around the world, and you're an 8.5 at best." And as he's telling me this story on the way to the airport, I just lose my shit.
I could see that. Over the course of your 12-year career, if you had to pick, we'll say, the top 3 most influential wrestlers and or promoters on your career,
Oh, wow.
who would they be?
I don't think I could pick 3, to be honest. There's a lot of people. I mean, I owe Sean Cook and Guy Lombardo a great gratitude for training me and getting me into the business. I owe a great gratitude to P.T. Hustla for seeing something in a curly-haired 21-year-old enough to take me under his wing and teach me the psychology of our business. Same thing goes for Hillbilly Jed, T.J. Kemp, Indiana Kid Jr. or Joey Kid Owens, whichever one you want to call him. I owe gratitude to Don Basher for giving me a place every week to hone my craft and get better. Can't forget Osiris.
Congo Kong to the ones that don't go that far back.
But yeah, he taught me a lot. Mark Houston for taking me on the road with him after training so I could get some bookings and get out there and get some experience. Donnie Tsunami for seeing something in me that apparently nobody else saw and giving me a chance at Infinity.
Donnie's pretty good at seeing things in people.
Yeah. The only argument that I think Donnie and I ever had, and Brett and I can attest, it really wasn't an argument. It was when he was trying to shorten down the roster in Bloomington, and it was I needed to lose weight. I agreed with him. I was overweight. I'm still overweight. My doctor looked at me last time I went to the doctor for a annual checkup. I stepped on the scale and weighed 283, 282, something like that. And she looked at me and goes, "I think the scale's off out there." Apparently I don't look that.
I wouldn't say you look 283. Let's say out of all those, that's a pretty impressive list of who's who that you've got to interact with and learn from. If you had to pick, let me try to think how I want to word this next one. Actually, we'll go different here. It seems like every day there's a new crop of people entering independent wrestling or professional wrestling in general. If they were to come to you and ask what they need to do to be successful in professional wrestling, in and out of the ring, what bit of advice would you give those individuals?
For in the ring, the same advice that was given to me by PT Hustler. Learn your fucking craft. Exact words.
Yeah.
Out of the ring, always be professional, even if you don't like somebody. Walk up, shake their hand. Hey, how's it going? Blah, blah. And leave it at that. But yeah, mostly it's just learn your fucking craft. It took me, I don't know, 9-10 years to find out who KJ is in the wrestling business. Had a long conversation with PT Hustler many years ago. He's like, "Who the fuck are you? What is a KJ?" And now I can always say KJ is a dick. And if you have a shell, like if you're in this little shell around you, you're probably not going to go far. You got the ring in the ring. That is your chance to crank it up a notch and be somebody that you're not. So I mean, if you're in a shell, it's not going to happen for you.
I remember one of the best pieces of advice I ever got from Sean Cook was I was told, the day you stop learning in this business is the day you need to get out of it, because you should never stop learning.
I learn to this day. I still learn. Whether it's something new that I want to try, or a different way to get over or get heat from the fans. It's just little things. And here lately, the creative side has come out a little bit more in the stuff that I do. I mean, I can tell you right now, I don't do shit. I'm not gonna sit here and I can do a fucking 450, blah blah. I don't do flippity doodahs. On that note, same aspect. Donnie Tsunami, their first show in Lafayette, I was in a 6-man scramble, and for everybody that doesn't know, that any multi-man match at Infinity is elimination. Doesn't matter if it's tag, a 3-way, a 4-man, an 8-man scramble. It's all elimination. There's no one fall finish in multi-mans. Donnie looks at me and goes, "I need you to do a dive." I questioned it. And I pleaded my case, and he saw where I was coming from.
Are we talking like a slingshot dive or like a running and you're jumping?
Either, any kind of dive. He's like, "I just needed some kind of dive out of everybody in the match." I'm like, "No."
Doesn't work for me, brother.
I'm not going to dive. And he was just like, "But I really need everybody to dive." I'm like, look down, I have a gut. I'm not going to bullshit people. But, I can do dives. But I feel as a heel, why would I dive? Why would I give the crowd something that they want as a heel?
Did you fake the dive?
Nope.
Just cut it out of the whole
Yep.
script.
And everybody else dived. I didn't. I remember during that match, same match, I threw a drop kick. The ref of the match, his name's Josh, and I've been on many shows with Josh. And he bends down and goes, "Holy fuck, you can get up." I was like, motherfucker. I thought about giving him the bird as I came up, and I was like, no, it's a family show. I get back and I talk to Donnie and the other promoter, and they're like, you should have done it. I was like,
Flip off the ref?
flip the ref off, you know. Because you don't see a guy, you don't picture a guy my size and my weight throwing a drop kick to a guy that's 6 foot and connecting where he's supposed to connect.
It is rare. It is rare.
I can tell you this: when I was in training, I wanted to learn how to throw drop kicks. The guy that was in the ring with me at the time was his work name, his in-ring name was Johnny Rich. We called him Hairless John because he had
no hair
on his body besides his head that we were aware of. I threw a drop kick and drop kicked him in the dick. Sean Cook looked at me and goes, "Don't ever throw a drop kick ever again."
Please tell me that was the finish.
That was just training. It wasn't even a match. We wanted to. It was towards the end of our training. He's like, "If there's anything you guys want to learn, now is the time." And he's like, "Don't ever throw a drop kick again." I think like 6 years later, I decided, "Hey, I want to throw a drop kick," and I threw a pretty good drop kick. So,
I've got several favorite memories of having you in a match. I've worked you quite a bit over.
I do believe we even tagged.
We have tagged. We have gone against each other, but I think this was kind of a bittersweet for me. But you were in the match when my jaw got broke.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Yes, you were. You were Jamie Crisis' tag partner.
Yes, I was.
Because that was WrestleMania day.
Yeah.
And I was tagging with Jeremy Hadley.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
You're right.
Jamie had given me the snapmare, and he whispered in my ear, "Stay here, kid." And he comes off the fucking rope with that fucking knee, spun me around.
But go ahead. I'm gonna go back to your first question. I got a better awkward moment.
But I get up to the corner, and then Jamie asks me if I'm okay, and I shake my head. And then I see Dave Allen pull you off the apron, and you guys are going at it on the outside. Fern had slid in some brass knucks. And I'm fucking out of it. I had a fucking concussion.
Good old Fern.
So I put the knucks on, and I fucking pepper Crisis with the knucks. And I felt horrible. Like, I covered him, and he was covering his head. And then the 1, 2, 3, I wasn't even the legal man. Like, that's how fucking out of it I was. So I get the cover, 1, 2, 3. I go to the back, and
I remember you holding your mouth,
yep,
and then when you took your hand away, it just went
blood.
It was everywhere, and I was just like, I'm gonna go that way because that's a lot of blood.
That was a lot of blood.
So I remember from the show. I remember after the show, we all went back to wherever we were that we were going to watch WrestleMania, and I was texting. I think it was your mom or your girlfriend at the time. I don't remember which one it was.
No, it was a girlfriend. I remember which one.
And I was like, "Is Scott okay?" And she's like, "No, they're wiring his jaw shut." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I think it was 3 weeks later, you wanted a cheeseburger.
5 broken in 5 spots. 8 weeks, jaw wired shut. Around the 3-week mark, I tried putting a Whopper in a blender.
Yeah, and you're like, "Don't ever do it."
That was so fucking gross. But they told me, after they put the wires in, that if you have to vomit, you have to cut your own wires. You're going to choke to death. And then, I wrote down frantically, "Has this happened?" And he's like, "No, but I need to tell you." And I was like, "Well, fuck." We go on to the awkward story.
Awkward story. my rookie battle royal, my initiation,
Ass whooping
as
night.
they call it, into the business. Buff Bagwell was actually on the show. He did the tag match before the battle royal. We had like 400 some odd fans. We were told that, Buff's gonna pop each one of us and we're gonna pair off. Don't touch Buff, because Buff's gonna leave. Like a greenhorn, I'm standing there with my dick in my hand, and everybody's paired off, but me and Buff. Fuck me.
The fuck am I supposed to do to him?
So Buff comes over and pops me. I sit back at the corner. I'm waiting on him because the rookie battle royal is pretty much you get the shit chopped out of you. I'm waiting on this chop from Buff. Didn't happen. Grabs me by my hair, takes me to the buckle, boom. Feet around, waiting for a chop. Punches me, takes me another buckle, grabs me, puts me on the rope and goes, "Stay here, kid." So I'm staying there, and unbeknownst to me, Buff had got out and walked to the back. I don't remember who. I think it was Sean Cook. Comes over and grabs me. Goes, "What the fuck you doing, kid?" Boom.
Waiting for my spot.
So that was my first experience with a name.
But that's pretty cool. Not a lot of guys can say that their first ever interaction in professional wrestling was a former WCW or WWF, WWE superstar.
Right.
So I mean, that was kind of a very nice graduation gift.
Yeah. Very, very nice graduation gift.
To get. How many, have you worked a lot of names over the 12 years?
Let's see here. I've been in the room with Congo Kong. I tagged with Marty Jannetty, which was awesome.
I remember that one.
I remember that night Marty beating on me in the locker room prior to the match. And I'm like, "I'm your fucking partner. Stop hitting me." Tagged with Zach Gowen. I've been on shows with Aries, Jimmy Jacobs.
That's a funny motherfucker.
I laugh because my first interaction with Jimmy was not a pleasant one. I was actually in Lafayette.
Was this when he was brought in for a seminar?
Yeah, I did the seminar. He wasn't the main.
BMF?
Yes. He's like, "Everybody stick to your times, blah, blah. I would like to get on the road because I go to Chicago." There was one match that went over, I think, like 3 minutes, and he was just livid about it. He was fucking
I'm
pissed.
pretty sure that was the tag match with Brett and I, because I don't think Brett ever cared about time.
Brett doesn't care about times today. Sorry, Brett.
Love you, buddy.
But he was just livid that this match went over by a few minutes. The second interaction I had with him was him arguing with the promoter. I don't remember what the argument was about. But before the show, Brett and I went in the locker room. I think Brett and I had a match with each other or something to that extent because we were talking about something. Our backs were to Jimmy. And we could feel eyes burning a hole through us, who the fuck are these kids? And why haven't they come over and shook my hand? I don't think we ever shook his hand that night.
Oh, Jesus.
That's why I can honestly say the first time I was not professional to... The first and last time I was ever not professional to everybody.
Did he approach you at all?
I think he got up, came over to the end of the table where we were at, and Brett and I just turned and looked at him and went back to what we were doing.
Fucking superstardom.
But as I said, that was the first and last time that I've ever done that. I mean, I superstar Brett because it's Brett.
Let's say,
I got one more awkward moment.
oh, go ahead.
I was in a match with Dave Allen. I'm sure you remember this.
I remember Dave Allen.
I hit the ropes, and the middle rope broke.
Yes. Yes.
The middle rope broke. All I could think was, "Oh shit, my head's gonna hit the apron." So I reached up and I was able to grab the top rope and pull myself in. And Dave is I hear Dave laughing. The crowd's laughing, and Dave realizes, "Oh shit, He goes, "Stop laughing, he's going to kick me that much harder." So I popped him, gave him a snapmare, and I fucking drilled him in the back. Because the crowd was laughing. Those are my awkward moments that I can remember. I'm sure there's plenty more awkward moments that I just don't remember.
I'm trying to think. There was Disco Stew.
Oh. Thank you, Devon Fury. Fuck.
You had done a storyline with the Uprising, Hadley and Rojas,
Yep.
where you guys had lost your jobs, and I believe you guys had worked as masked wrestlers and just been in the crowd. And
I remember being in the crowd one night at supposed to be a 21 and over show
at Reeley's.
at Reeley's, which is a bar, which used to be a bar in Lafayette, but it turned into an all ages show. But we were told to treat it as a 21 and over show, so we went and sat in the crowd during their match with these two guys that were supposed to be us underneath masks. Wasn't us. And I do believe I had a shot with PT Hustler before.
You did. There's some adult beverages in taken.
But yeah, it was. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Because I remember you had the bleach fucking blonde hair that you would fucking poof down into an afro.
I mean, I can poof it out now, but I don't choose not to.
Justin, did he? I don't think he did anything different, did he?
He cut his hair.
He did. That's right.
And it's still short to this day. I still talk to Justin, not as often as I probably should, but I talk to Justin quite a bit.
And then you were involved in that horrific match where he got the Harry Potter scar, which I'm in the back because I was refereeing at that point in wrestling, and Jamie Crisis runs in the locker room. He said, "We need everyone."
Yep.
And so I throw my fucking ref shit back on. I'm tucking the shirt in. I'm running, and I get out there, and you have this horrid look on your face.
That was my first encounter of somebody being busted open.
The hard way.
The hard way in a match I was in.
And Justin is sitting on the apron, and
He's still got the mask on.
the mask is on, but you could see blood that was starting to come out of the mask.
I talked to him afterwards because I went with him to make sure he got cleaned up and everything. His exact words were, "I just thought I was sweating."
No, brother.
Because like when it happened, all he felt was like water, so he thought he was like just drenched in sweat. But he knew something wasn't right, so he took the mask off.
Oh my God, it was like Carrie.
But it was. I thought we told a good story leading up to everything. But back to your Disco Stew thing. That came about while I was still in training, actually. Devon Fury, PT Hustler, and Kenny Courageous. Kenny Courageous is like, sometimes you gotta do stuff that you don't want to do. He's like, I was Kenny McCormick for the first 5 years of my life. I'm like, oh, everybody killed Kenny. Ha ha ha, I get it. PT Hustler was a cowboy.
Really?
Yeah, no, we won't get into that.
See, I always thought it was just PT Hustler.
No,
That was it.
No, we'll get into that. I don't think Devon ever did anything different.
Devon was one of those guys that you could put him in any role, though.
You could put him. He could come. Devon's the type of guy that could be late for a show, walk through the curtain in his street clothes, and still have a hell of a match with. But I had no facial hair. I had my fucking hair was picked out, and Devon's like, "You're Disco Stew, baby," and I was like, "No, I'm not." So I did Disco Stew on a Halloween show for a all gimmick battle royal, which you had to dress up as somebody. So I dressed up as Disco Stew to give Devon and PT and Kenny what they wanted for the whole career, and I was like, it's just not me. I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that get stuff that's not them. To this day, I still ask everybody, what's a gimmick? Because me as a babyface is just me personally amplified 10 times. me as a heel is me being a dick amplified. So
over the course of your career, which of you liked better? Have you liked working babyface or heel more?
oh wow. Well, let me set the stage for this. In Lafayette, I had been a babyface for 5 years. I got to that point where I was plateauing as a babyface. I was getting a crowd reaction, but not
Anymore.
a great one. It was like golf claps. Brett and I, so to speak, Brett and I got tired of waiting for our spot. So we came up, we talked. He's like, you think they'll go for turning you heel? I was like, let's pitch it. The promoters at the time were like, we don't think you'll get over as a heel. I was like, put me with Brett, because at the time Brett was the most over heel. And I was like, if it fails, it fails. You know, you can always turn me back babyface, whatever. The next show, after I turned heel, I was getting more heat than Brett, and Brett was the most over heel at the time. Ever since then, I've been heel, except for a few places. Like WCW, it just varies. Like I'm the tweener, I can do either or. NGW, recently I turned babyface. Do I like it? I don't like putting on a fake smile. If I'm not in a good mood, I don't want to be a babyface. I feel for me it's easier to work heel because some people I just don't like, and they want to see me do this move. Well, best way to get a reaction is not do that move.
Over the course of, from this point on till the time that you do decide to hang it up, who are 2 guys that you want to at least have one run with in any company? It doesn't matter which company. That's not affiliated, I'm sorry, with WWE or Impact.
Oh, well. Damn it, you cut me off.
Well, okay, we'll do 2 on the indies and then 1 in the main.
In the main, let's do the main first.
Okay.
The main, it'd be Aries.
Aries.
Because I want to know how good I really am. And to me, right now, that's not signed with WWE. To me, Aries he's the man. Because he can do anything. He can work any style. So I would be Aries. On the indies. Oh, wow. Let's just do the Indiana area.
Indiana, yeah. Let's cut this down to Indiana.
Cut this Indiana, and so that way it makes my list a little shorter. It's still a tough choice. But before it's done, I have a list of guys that I want to work with that I either have or have not worked. Trip Cassidy would be one of them, just because shortly after Trip got out of training, I was one of his first matches, and it was good, but as good as it was, I knew it could be better, because that's how Trip is. Guys that I haven't worked. Wow. A green kid right now, Braden Lee. I've been sent to some of their training. I've kind of seen him grow. I would like to see, what he's learned from the last time I stepped in the ring with him in training to now, even though it hasn't been that very long.
So you're going to get a chance to see him on September 23rd at the Infinity Pro 2 show.
I've been on shows with him. Actually, I got one show with him today. NGW for it's a benefit show for the Simplify Foundation or whatever. It's for the Marines, and I knew if I didn't do this show, this is personal. This is a personal thing for me. That I'd probably get my ass beat by some family members. I've got a lot of close friends, family members that were you're never a former Marine. You're always a Marine. That were in the Marines, and if I didn't do it, I know I'd catch a lot of heat from them. And to me, family is a very closely. I'm very family oriented for the most part. So I feel this is my way to give thanks to them for giving me the freedom that I have today.
Greatly respect that. When it is all said and done, and you've had that last match, and you're looking back at however long the career was, all the accolades, all the championships, and you've accumulated many over the course of already 12 years.
Still working.
Still working. There's still room in the trophy case. When people bring up Kenneth James or KJ in conversation, or the tag team Sudden Impact, or Brett and KJ, what do you want to be remembered for most out of professional wrestling?
Always giving my best. There's a difference between, going out there and working in front of 20 people, which I've done, to working in front of 500 people, which I've done. I've done both. I've been on both ends of the spectrum. But, to me, there's giving your best for every match, but there's a different way of going about it, so that way you're not killing yourself for these 20 people, but you're still giving them their money's worth. And then there's going out there for these 500 people and doing something completely different. I just want to be known for putting my best foot forward and being professional, being the best I can be, and making sure those people get their money's worth. Perfect example for in front of 20 people. When WCW started running every Friday, I had a match with a very young kid at the time, a very young Dale Patricks. He comes to me, he's like, hey, blah, blah, I want to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, we're not doing any of that. He's like, but I want to do this. And I'm like, okay, but why? And he's like, because it
sounds cool.
It sounds cool. And I think at that, when I was in that stage where he was, I was the same way. I want to do this because it sounds cool, not because it made sense. But we went out there and did nothing and still had the crowd. Where, these 400 people, 400 to 500 people over here, I did a 3-way ladder match with Brett Hadley and did something different and still had the crowd the whole match. Yeah, maybe my psychology, I would say.
I would definitely say it was psychology. You've got to find a way to work. There's a different way you work 20 people versus you work 500. But the quality can still be the exact same, and the outcome could be completely different.
Yep. It's all about giving the fans their money's worth. I just want them to feel like I didn't rob them of their money. So.
And that's a good way to.
I'll gladly take the money, but I want to feel like the money that they spent on the show was invested right.
That's a very good way to put that. So before we wrap everything up, do you have anything that you would like to plug, promote, any maybe social media, upcoming shows?
Yes. Next Saturday, I am in Shelbyville for the 3rd annual Bob Oxley Memorial Tournament. My first round is Yukon Mike, who's been around for a while. I recently, started working shows with him. Should be a good match, but I'm still going to get the W. And then I'm back at Emerge, I do believe the first Saturday, or September 8th. NGW in Crawfordsville on the 25th of August, where it was actually originally scheduled. The main event was Justin Myers and Congo Kong. I know Kong's got a prior obligation.
He's a busy man.
So they got to find a suitable replacement for Myers. I'm not plugging myself here, but I did train the kid, or help train the kid. But yeah, I'm in Shelbyville every 3rd Saturday, except for May and December because they don't run. I'm generally In Columbus, Indiana, it emerged the first Saturday of the month. Unless it's a holiday, then they move it to the second Saturday. That's it. That's all I got. It's what I do. I mean, to me, I'm just a weekend warrior now, and I'm quite okay with that because at some point it's got to be. I know I'm eventually gonna have kids, and I don't want to be that guy that can't function the way a parent should. So.
I believe, wasn't it PT that said that we've already got a predetermined bump card?
I heard PT say it, and then I was on a show with Raven. I forgot Raven in that bunch. I know Raven has said it in a shoot interview for ROH.
We've got a predetermined bump card. The fun part is we don't know when it's up.
And some younger guys, age-wise, business-wise, don't understand that. Brett. Love you, Brett.
His fucking bump card has got to be bigger than this fucking apartment.
It's got to be bigger than my house.
Some of the shit that I have seen Brett do, and just when we did the casket match in Burnsville, and he was coming up with ideas, I was like, Brett, some of this shit, dude. I mean, are you sure? He's like, this is a big blow off, Scotty. We gotta go big.
Here's my thing with that. PT and I had this discussion with Brett. It's never been about the moves or how smooth the moves look. It's that you got that. It's the psychology. Who is Brett Havoc other than just a pretty boy?
He's a hell of a worker, though.
I will give him that, but his boy's gonna be better.
A second generation.
As I say now, his boy's already better than him.
Oh Jesus! Fucking shot.
That's just that way I can pop Brett's ego a little bit.
No, but in all due respect, Brett Havoc is probably one of the best workers you could probably put on a show.
I've had most of my best matches with Brett. If I had to put down a super card of guys that I've worked with, Brett would be top 2. I wouldn't say 1 because
you know he's gonna watch this and that fucking ego. Brett's like, all right, where the fuck's 1?
No, he gets 2. He gets 2. Because number 1's got to have that top spot. So, sorry, Brett, that's not you. I love you like a brother, and I appreciate everything you and your family have done for me. Let me sleep on your dad's couch for 6 months when I had nowhere to go. But you're not going to be the number 1 spot because I love popping your ego.
All right, well, on that note, guys, that was this episode of the Four Corners Podcast Superstar Spotlight Edition with Kenneth James. Make sure to follow this man on Twitter. You use Twitter?
I do not use Twitter. I have a Twitter.
Okay, fuck, never mind.
I have a Twitter.
Do you have a Facebook page?
Yes, it's just Kenneth James.
Kenneth James. So make sure to like and follow him on Facebook. And thank you guys for everything. And we will see you guys tomorrow when we shoot our Gen Con wrap-up.